Other people born in 48 in this room? Or before. Remember these three hands because the years I'm going to talk about, they might be able to relate to. But you all need to either write this down and Google them because these are critical to the history and history of where we are in this room today. I'm telling you that from. I was born in the state because my brother Ronnie, 1 year older than me, and my sister Dolores, 2 years older than me, our mother got up one day and left after I was shortly born. And I went to St. Margaret's home for unwanted children, and right next to that was the Albany Children's Home. These are the orphans. I don't think we use the term orphans anymore. So I was at the Albany Children's Home from the years of 1 to 8. At the age of 8, they sold the home, which is now, by the way, Russell Sage Junior College is still there on 144 New Scotland Avenue. And because they were selling the home, kids were being dispersed, and we didn't have any place to go to because we had no family. So a black farm family, of all things, in Chatham Center, New York, and we went with them to the age of 12. It didn't work out because when I got my period very young, I found out later, I didn't know any of this at all, that she needed to leave and have me go because she was worried about maybe I might be getting pregnant. Little did she know that was the least issue on her plate. So then, from the age of 12 to 18, I went to the Schenectady Children's Home in Schenectady, New York, and that's still there too. The unique thing about the Children's Home in Schenectady, they mainstreamed us into those high schools. I went to Mount Pleasant High School, 1964 to 66, and I was one of the first black cheerleaders. Yes, Mandy Carter was a cheerleader. Yeah. Either in high school or college in this room. Thank you. That was the good news. The downside was we hadn't gotten black power yet, and we had to have straighten our hair. And the name Dixie Peach and a Hot Comb, you know, every black woman in this room should understand it. That's Dixie Peach and a Hot Comb. Google it. Now, my little venture was, now I knew that now I'm in a cheerleader, that was like the height of everything. Other than being the valedictorian, the best thing was being a cheerleader. But I had a feeling there was something different about me, and I wasn't sure what it was, and we didn't have any LGBT nothing. Everything was just the H word back in those days, y'all, homosexual. And I didn't know what it was, and I'm in this little school, and one day we're cheerleading, and I was in the bathroom, going to the bathroom, I came out, and these two women got a fight about some guy, and one of them bumped into me. Oh my God. Oh, what was that? For those of you who remember, there used to be card files, really literally, you pull them out down the library. Mandy Carter went around that card file about 15 times, hoping no one would see me go into the H file, scared someone might be looking over my shoulder. What was I thinking? But this is the reality of what happens when you're coming out. And I finally, no one's looking, I pull it out, I clicked to the H's, and what was there? Well of loneliness. And then, but the other thing was, that card file was tore up. I wasn't the only one looking at that card file. Make a long story short, I share that because now today, with all the social media, to come out, like we used to say, Joe, to come out, you don't have any words for it, you have no way of describing it. And all I knew that I had this feeling, I read that little H card, and that kind of went away, but I didn't tell anyone. I'm in the home, the children's home. But one of the classes that people have heard me share this, one of the social studies classes in my junior year of high school, I was 17, brought in someone from a resource person from the American Friends Service Committee who was down south organizing in the civil rights movement. And this young white guy came in and he talked about the importance of the American Friends Service Committee and Quaker values. These three things that he said is why I'm sitting here 46 years later. He talked about the fundamental core values, critical to understand. The fundamental core values is about equality and justice for all. That keeps you constant, it keeps you pertinent, it keeps you relevant. And I remember hearing those words, equality and justice for all. Then he talked about this concept of the power of one, little, small, O-N-E. The power of one. And that every single person has the potential to impact change if they so desire to act on it. And to hear these words against the backdrop, and this is where my little laptop comes in handy, there are two demographics right now that I think everyone in this room should really take heart and understand. One of them is that all of us post-World War II baby boomers born between the years of 1946 and 64, there are 78 million of us right now. That is a huge cultural demographic we really need to take a look at. And when we talk about intergenerational, get a clue. Now, not everyone's gay or progressive, but that's a demographic. The other one is, who said it yesterday? By 2040, by 2015, this country will be majority people of color, and California already is. But get this, who was already on these lands to begin with? Who was already here? There ain't no secret. What is that? So against this backdrop, real quick, I don't want to get totally off script. August 1962, the Cuban Missile Crisis, they were saying last rites on the radio in Albany, New York, because the fear was a missile was going to come from Cuba, 90 minutes from Florida, 90 miles. Last rites in 1962. This date, November 22nd, 1963, Kennedy was assassinated in Dallas, Texas. And on live TV, we saw Lee Harvey Oswald shot and killed by Jack Ruby on TV in Dallas, Texas. April 4th, 1968, King was assassinated in Memphis, Tennessee. June 6, 1968, Bobby Kennedy was assassinated in Los Angeles, California. And if you want to get a sense of just how everything was so, I wanted to be a doctor. I didn't even think I had enough time because I might be dead tomorrow. And then don't mention the air raid drills that were going off and all that. So I want you to understand, this is the demographic that went through all that. So as we sit here today, and you do not understand the history and history of that, and put that in context, I would suggest that we really do that. And then I did come out. I finally went to some bar in New York, some it was called like the 12th of Never, you know, some dark alley, whatever. But long story short, I'm out now, and I would suggest to anyone in this room, if you are lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, of color, and you're in a position to be out, be out. You've got to be the face for those who cannot be seen. Be visible and vocal. You've got to be the voice for those who cannot be heard. It's pivotal. It's critical. And that's my little thing about my thing.